Okay, guys, thank you again for joining the session. I think I have met with Radha and Ahuti in the past. Uh, you guys might find, the things repetitive, uh, right? Because a lot of things which I'm going to speak again will be similar, right? But for the new people, uh, like Sayali and Abdullah, sorry, Sayed, I just want to give you some background and like how we are going to conduct these sessions, right, throughout the next you can say 8 weeks. So this Power BI session, like I said, will be basically we will take it through 8 weeks, and it will be like divided into two sessions per week, right? So the first 4 weeks, right, which will be 8 sessions, will be taken by me, and the next 4 weeks, which will be more advanced and real time, some real time scenarios and all those kind of things will be taken by another trainer whose name is Sunil Mehta. Hmm? So, just to give you some background, guys, about me, and I wanted to just say that, first I'll go ahead and introduce myself, and then I will ask Sayali, you and Sayed to introduce yourself, and also Radha and Audi, so that, the rest of the people you should get to know, like Sayali and Sayed, and if you guys, need to cross collaborate, that would be good for us and for this entire batch. So, I'm Vivek, and I have like close to 13 years of industry experience now. And basically, my core domain is into data visualization, data warehousing, ETLs, and cloud solutions, including AWS and Azure. Okay. So that's what, I've been doing. So I have been into multiple positions in industry, working with some big tech giants. Um, and on top of that, I enjoy teaching students, and doing, a lot of technical stuffs. Unfortunately, place where I work, so I'm into leadership position. So here I don't get a lot of opportunity to do a lot of technical work, and hence, I'm associated with a couple of consultancies. Like one of them is Guru School. So that's about me. With that, I will hand it over to you, Sayali. Please go ahead, unmute yourself and introduce yourself. Sayali, can you hear me? Okay, Sayed, can you please unmute yourself and introduce yourself?
This is Ahadullah Sayed. I am from computer background. Chap, doing my second master's and I'm trying to learn.
Sayed, I can't hear you. Your looks like you're speaking from a very far place, so I can't understand anything. Would you try to speak closer and louder a little bit?
Actually, it's due to my headphone problem, but I can hear you properly. My name is Ahadullah Sayed. I'm doing my master's in MI20.
I don't know. I can't hear. Radha and Ahuti, were you able to hear Sayed and understand?
No, it's not clear.
Yeah, for me also not clear. Actually.
Okay, no problem, Sayed. So probably we can talk offline, but you need to just improve, from where you're speaking. Sayali, can you hear me now?
Hello.
Let me just quickly message her. Yeah, yeah.
Sorry, sir. I'm in the middle of doing something else as well, so doing multitasking. Sorry. I did hear you, but I didn't unmute you for a while. Sorry
Mm-hmm.
about that. So, about me. So I'm computer science background. I have a computer science background. I have prior experience working in the computer industry as a business analyst and a technical analyst. And last year, I did start learning about Power BI and Tableau. So I would say, a beginner level learner in that field, and I did have interest learning about data analysis. So I am looking for opportunities for those kind of roles. So I'm here to learn more about Power BI.
Yeah, right. So thank you, Shayali. I mean, just to give you the background, so I have been taking the data analysis courses here in the Guru School as well, where majorly I have been focusing on the SQL side. I mean, since you said so, I just said, okay, let me just go ahead and tell you. I think there is somebody in the waiting room. Let me accept.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I forgot to mention that I do have prior work experience with SQL as well. So yeah, that was the reason for me to get interested into the data analysis role. So with a
Yeah,
background
I
of
think, yeah, if
SQL
you have some
and some
SQL
kind of
background,
business
then it will be
analysis,
helpful.
yes, I do have work experience and prior knowledge of SQL.
Okay, that's great. Great to know about you, Sayali. Thank you for introducing yourself. Pravalika, I I think I recall this name as well. Pravalika, I think you have attended the previous Power BI session. Is that right?
Yes, I
Okay, okay, no problem. So yeah, anyways, like I just said in the beginning, because this is an introductory session and a lot of things you may find that I've been repeating. But anyway, so just because I know Pravalika, Radha, and Ahuti, but all three of you, I mean, it will be really good if you can quickly introduce yourself so that Sayali and Sayed can know a little bit about you. So over to you, Radha.
Means Radharani Pradhan. So I have around like 3 years of not real time experience, but I'm still practicing. And now I'm very good with SQL Server, like SSIS, and also SQL Server, basically SSIS and little bit SSRS. And I'm still practicing also Power BI. And I'm looking for job right now, but I don't know when I will get the job. But I am applying for fresher, not any like now the market is here, it's not good. That's why I'm applying mm, without experience.
Yeah, okay. All the best, Radha, for your job hunt. I hope you should get a job very soon. Uh,
Most challenging part is for clear the interview. Uh, for me, actually, especially for clear the interview. That's why I'm applying for like without experience.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Mm,
I know a little bit about you and your background. I think we have spoken a lot of time offline, so I
mm,
think we can again talk. But
mm,
all the best once again.
mm.
Um, we'll talk on that. Hi, Avuti. Could you please quickly introduce yourself as well?
Hi, my name is Ahuti, and I'm from computer science background. And I want to brush up those Power BI learning. I forgot all those things, so now I want to join this course.
Okay. Thank you, Avuti. Welcome back again. Pravalika, over to you.
Hi, my name is Pravalika. Um, yeah, actually, I attended the previous class, but because of some personal issues, I have kept aside all the learning process and everything. So now I want to relearn and um, like brush up again. So it's a start over again for me.
Okay, great. Thank you for introducing yourself, Pravalika. Okay, so with this, I think we are good to start the session. So, so guys, like I said, I mean, always remember. So this is going to be a 4 week session from me, where I'll be, majorly focusing on the basics of the Power BI. What is Power BI, right? Why it is important? What are some of the basic components of Power BI, right? And we'll do some of the hands-on as well. I'm the person. I mean, I'm not sure if any one of you has seen my DA classes. Uh, but I'll more focus on the hands-on side than being relying on the you can say theoretical material, because that's something is available anyone anyway for any one of you freely. If you go over the chat GPT or you go and look for anything over the internet, right? But I'll try to make it more practical. So we'll see. And post that 4 week, see our target is that in initial 4 weeks, because like Sayali, like you said, I think you had already have some background on the Power BI. So you may see some basics things I'll be covering, right? The reason for that, see, our motto is that we consider each and every candidate as very basic and zero, for example, right? So that is the reason we start from the base, and slowly, once this 4 weeks will be done, so the next 4 week is going to be more advanced in that nature. Okay, so that's how it is going to be. So with this, let me go ahead and then share my screen. Just give me 1 second, guys. Okay, let me know once you guys can see my screen. Is it visible?
Yes.
Okay, great. Fine. So, see, I mean, first of all, I'll quickly talk about, what is Power BI here. And then, guys, one more thing, I will also share the, uh, topics, which we are going to cover. And sorry, I forgot to have it. It's on my another laptop. But like I have told you, it will be basic for 4 weeks, and then it will be advanced, like, going into DAX. I'll also go through the DAX, basic DAX, more into the data modeling side, right? Heavily, basics into the visualization. So that's going to be next 3-4 weeks of topic, and then it will be more advanced, like I said. Okay, so very quickly, coming to Power BI. So what is Power BI, guys, and why it is important, and or how it is important, I would say, for the candidates, right, who's aiming for a career into the data and analytics. Okay, so I mean, you may see here what I have written. For example, uh, like Power BI is a business analytics service that help you visualize and analyze data, right? It's a powerful tool that can help you understand the business better. So this is a very small set of statement, uh, where I have used BI also. So first of all, let's understand, guys, what is BI here, right? So BI means nothing but it's business intelligence. Okay. Now, what is business intelligence, guys? So see, I mean, there can be a lot of explanation about business intelligence if you go and see and search the definition of business intelligence. However, in my eyes and in my experience, see, uh, what I have understood is that, um, you know, uh, for example, when you are working for any business, right? I mean, you have a lot of things to do, right? A lot of manual things are there to do. And anyway, if you can basically make it more intelligent, right, by using any tools, um, or let's say any automation, that becomes the intelligence. So very simple example for example, let's say you have some flat files, right, which is coming from the source, and you need to analyze some data. Or let's say, let's talk about an Excel, very simple Excel where you have, let's say 5,000 or 10,000 records, let's say a customer sales record, and somebody asked you that go ahead and find out the top 10 customers who have purchased product whose cost is more than, let's say, 5,000. Okay. So this is a very simple question I have just asked. Now, this information I said we have 5,000 records. So I'm sure you all will agree that it's not going to be a very easy thing, right? You have to go through those 5,000 records, or in Excel, for example, you will go ahead and apply few formulas. Now, see, Excel also is a tool, right? It's also an intelligence tool provided by Microsoft. So in Excel also you can do, but I'm sure in Excel you can achieve this, but your solution may not be like it will not attract visually to some of the people who may not understand the technology well, right? So that is where Power BI comes. So we can solve the same set of question, or we can provide a solution to this problem using Power BI also. So see, I mean, Power BI is nothing but it's a visualization tool, right? and it's widely used in the industry right now, where we can present our information using charts, tables, and maps, right, to help user create interactive and dynamic reports, right? In Power BI, and I'll talk about more in detail, in the upcoming slide. We have, some of the different aspects of Power BI where we can do the data modeling as well within the Power BI. Okay. Initially, I remember when Power BI was launched, you know, um, the only use of Power BI was to represent your information visually. Okay. But as soon the time went and things, grown, so there have been a lot of things which have been integrated within Power BI. So not only the visual representation. So see what I'm talking about by the visual presentation. So guys, you see here on the left hand side, right, where I'm just highlighting my mouse. So you see this is a visual representation, a chart, right? You can see a pie chart, and then you can see some line charts, right? Bar graphs, calendars, right? So see, I mean, this way, so this is the way of actual presentation using Power BI, right? Now you may see this is more visually, you can say, uh, impersonating of the ideas, right? Or giving your thoughts, so that if people can read the charts and graph. Uh, Sometimes people do think that it is also easy to read the graphs and read the visual information, but again that need a science. It's not again very easy, but yeah, but at least little bit easier to the people who do not know a lot of coding or do not have a lot of background in the backend side. Okay. So like I was talking about, as Power BI has grown, a lot of different aspect came, like data modeling, for example, data connectivity. When I say about data modeling, so it creates data model which enables them to analyze and visualize complex data information. So now, for example, what is a data model? So if you see here, um, you know the one of the major component of Power BI is now data modeling, right? So what does a data modeling does, for example, within Power BI? So it enables you to cleanse, shape, and transform your data to prepare it for the analysis. You can create relationship between tables and establish data hierarchies. So I'm not sure, but somebody who has the background within the SQL, right, I mean, they may relate it much more, but it's a very simple process, guys, where when you import the data within the Power BI, Power BI actually, have this data into the tabular format, okay, in the relational format. And what then you can do, you can then create a proper relationship between two different sets of data. For example, let's say if you have a customer data which is coming from a flat file, I'm just giving you an example. And let's say you have a data which is related to the sales data and which is actually coming from an Excel file, right? So you will import all this data, right? And what this customer and sales information have the data. For example, in your customer file, you will be having data related to your customers, their IDs, name, their email ID, for example, right? So their personal information. Sales is basically what kind of product, for example, they have purchased and how much they have spended, right? Now, both of this information just consider is coming into different set of files, right? So to basically analyze which customer has bought what, right? How much they have spended, how will we going to do that? So that is where the modeling comes into, okay? So modeling will automatically connect these two files, and using that we'll be able to fetch the relevant information, guys. Okay. So that's how your Power BI is basically going to, or the data modeling aspect of Power BI is going to. With that, you know, I'll also little bit talk about, why the data analytics is very important, because see, it's right now is it's a demand and skill, okay, and it's a highly sought skill, I can say, in the industry right now. So having an expertise in Power BI, for any students or beginner, right, can give you a competitive edge in the job market. Though, though I have said this multiple times, okay, uh, it is important. I have seen people getting the jobs, only having the skills in Power BI. But to be very honest with you, and I don't lie a lot of time, because see, now the market has become very volatile. I think Radha was also speaking about that, and I think some of you might have also seen that, right? So, see, Power BI is one of the skill which is on the reporting side, right? But whenever you will appear in any interview, right? Even, and I can bet you this, because I was, I'll just talk about a little bit more around this. I was helping a student some time back, like maybe a week or so, and they came to me that they have a Power BI interview and they need some help, and I clearly told him that even if it is a Power BI interview, you must be asked some question related to SQL, and there will be enough question which will come from SQL. Okay, and if you have some knowledge on integration side like SSIS or Azure, right? Azure Data Factory. So just brush those skills up. That would be good to have. Okay. So the guy was saying, no, sir, I mean, it will be only on Power BI, we can focus on Power BI. I said, mind my word and see. So, he listened to me finally, and, he have done some practice on SQL and everything. So very quickly, I'll just summarize it. So the interview happened, and he came back to me and he said, Sir, I'm really surprised. How do you know? Because out of that half an hour, at least the interviewer have spent 15 to 20 minutes asking me questions around SQL and Azure, and less rest, like 5 minutes or 7 minutes was spent on Power BI. Okay, so what that means, and I can tell you guys with this, with very, I mean, with confidence, because I have basically have helped almost 5,000 people, you can say, in terms of interviews, and I know that how the things are working in the market right now. So see, Power BI is what? Power BI is also a component of your Microsoft. Okay, and how do you get the data in Power BI? See, if you go for any coaching institute or anywhere, right? People generally might be helping you with importing the data either from a flat file or Excel, and again, it will be a relational data. Okay, but in the real world, in real world, where exact, where company comes in, and when they start working, right? So they they also import data from flat files. I do not deny, but they have lot of their data in databases. Okay, and it becomes very important for a person who is working on Power BI to understand the data. Okay. Why? Because until and unless you don't know what data you are going to analyze, right? It will make no sense to basically work on Power BI. I'll give you a couple of reasons. See, because whenever you will be importing the data, one thing about any reporting tool, whether it is Power BI or Tableau, see, I mean, both are great tools. There are other reporting tools also in the market, but they have a limitation. Limitation in what? Limitation in terms of handling the volume of the data, right? I mean, in your practices, you may see today also that I'll be importing, some uh, point 3, point 4 million records just for your presentation and all. And since, of course, this is not the enterprise system anyway, nor you or I will be using. So Power BI has a limitation. And even if you have a enterprise edition of Power BI, then also I would say in any industry, people, if they are working with analytical data, right, or a reporting data, when I say analytical or reporting data, what does I mean, guys? See, there are again lot of kind of reporting which happens. There are transactional reporting which happens. There are analytical reportings happens. Now, what is the difference between this? Transactional data, for example, let's say if you talk about a bank, right? Now, what kind of data we have in a bank? In bank, we do have a transactional data. Why? Because you have some live data there, right? You need to see what are the transactions happening, how many credits and debits are happening, and that is happening every second. And that is why we say it's a transactional data. Okay. Whereas, let's say, let's talk about Amazon, for example. Now, Amazon is doing a lot of sales and everything, right? But maybe down the line, like 1 month back, Amazon wants their engineer to basically analyze how much sales has happened in the last month, and they basically wanted to analyze. The reason is because they wanted to see which of their products were popular actually across a region. So now this activity doesn't need to be done on a daily basis, right? And that is the reason this is called analytical reporting. Okay, and that can happen later on the time. But when you are going to report, let's say even on transactional data or analytical data, right? This data is very heavy in real time industry. I mean, I don't know how you can imagine, but just think about Citibank or Bank of America, or let's say Amazon, how much data they have, how much transactions they have, millions and billions of transactions, right? So you can't basically do everything within Power BI. Okay. So that is why we need a database in the behind where we can do some data cleaning and massaging, right? And we can put some relevant data in the backend, and then we go ahead and import that data into Power BI. Okay. So that we have limited data in the Power BI. And one of the other aspect of this is also related to performance optimization. Okay. Performance optimization is a very, very big thing in the market right now, where whenever you will appear in any interview, right, people will expect from you that, whether you are a Power BI engineer, whether you are an ETL engineer, right, whatever you are, you should be having some kind of basic background, or not basic, but at least a good or decent background, in basically doing the performance optimization, guys. Okay. So that is the reason we have to be very, very careful whenever we are designing any reports or whenever we are importing any data within the Power BI scope. Okay. So that is how, it becomes important. Okay. So with this, okay, let me just take a quick pause just to see if you guys have any questions. Anyone?
Yes, I have a question. You just mentioned about you're going to show us a demo about importing probably millions, I mean the data, millions of rows, maybe or kind of a huge data set. Do we get to actually like get a hands-on during this training session somewhere to actually do it at our end too? Would it be possible for us to learn
See,
that way?
fairly, I mean, in the like I said, in the last 4 weeks, right, which will be taken up by another trainer. I think he do. I'll just definitely ask him. I'm not sure in the last session if he has done that or not. Okay, but
Mhm.
there are ways, Sally. Okay, there are ways. Okay, see what happens during these classes now. See, having millions and billions of record in 1 hour, and then handling all everyone, it is really difficult, to be very honest. Okay, but see, there are ways where definitely either me or Sunil can help you to do that. See, we have lot of online data. For example, uh, we have data which is freely providable by some of the online sources, right? I
Mhm.
can show you on my SQL. So whenever you will be having time, you just connect with me for 5-10 minutes. Okay, or maybe during this session itself I will show you. So I do have some data which is very huge. I have imported it into my SQL server. Okay, so you can use that data as well. Okay, and there are a lot of other online sources which we will give you. Okay, just to make your life a little bit easier. So lot of things which we will do here in the Power BI, you can do the same things, right? Using those data sets. We can also provide you some of the real life examples, right? Some real life projects examples which you can use. We can give you a few questions so that you can work on that data sets, and if you have any questions you can come back. We can't
Oh,
show the live demo with that data because it is going to take a lot of time. Okay,
oh,
basics
okay.
anyway will be clear to you. You will be given the data sets, you will be given the you can say the problem statement, you can go and solve, and then you can come back with the questions. Okay.
Oh, okay. Maybe I misunderstood that you are going to show as in because when I gave a thought like importing that much big of a data, it would take a certain amount of time, which is not possible during the training session. But
Yeah,
um,
see, The
But
reason is,
I
see,
might need your help because the reason
uh
I asked this question was I have done a couple hands-on projects last year during my training, but I did import a data in Power BI, but not that huge of a data. But I want to learn how to do that and how
that
long
is
does
right.
it take, to get a hands-on real-time
Right,
experience
right,
for that.
right. That is the reason I told you. I know, Sally, because in any live session or wherever you will get the training, it is not practically possible. See, the
Correct.
reason is, even if I uh, do the massaging and cleaning of the data, that needs to happen on the back end. So for that, again, I have to use SQL Server, right? I'm not sure how many of you will understand and how many of you will be interested. It will take time. But offline, maybe we can work a little bit. We can provide you some data sets. We can provide you some of the questions on top of that so that you can do some real time kind of a small project with the bigger data sets. Okay.
Yes, sir. Yeah, that would be really helpful. I would
Huh.
like to learn that.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Fine. Right. Now, very quickly, let me talk about, um, see some of the other aspects of Power BI, right? Like, it can connect to various data sources. You can import data from Excel, SQL Server, and cloud services, right? So that is very good. And, interactive visualization, we all know, right? For example, here on the right-hand side, if you see, we have basically divided our regions. You see east, west, and south, right? And we are just trying to take the counts. Maybe this count would be like, like how many people are there, right? Or for example, what are the choice of people, right? So that is the count we are showing here, right? So that is the kind of visualization we generally, prepare using Power BI. This is just one very simple example. We'll learn more, in the upcoming sessions, right? I have already talked about data modeling aspect, right? One of the other thing is data storytelling and collaboration, guys. Okay, this aspect is um, very very important aspect. Why? Because this has a real significance in the market right now. Okay, most of the I would say Power BI developers is now is being hired, and the title, this developer title, it's a little bit confusing also. There is a reason I'm telling you why. Because what I'm seeing right now, they are expecting that you should be knowing about how to develop a Power BI, or you should know, right? You should know the basics around it. But what is the real use of Power BI? The real use of Power BI is that you create a dashboard and then you come up with a fantastic storytelling. Okay, what is storytelling? So you have something. I'll quickly give an example. I think some of the team members right now here, they do remember, or I don't know if they remember or not, but this is one of the very classic example I can give you. So guys, see, you are all in US, right? And you might be using services of, let's say, AT&T or Verizon, right? Or Charter Communication. I'm just making it up. I'm not sure which one you are using. But let's say, one fine day, let's say you are working in a telecom company, which is AT&T, right? And your manager comes and they ask you, hey, why don't you go ahead and prepare a data sets for me, right? Where I could clearly understand that what is that Verizon is doing differently than what we are doing, and why our customers are leaving us. So this is a very real life example, right? I mean, here also in India, we have Airtel, Vodafone, and all those kind of things. So generally in the technical space, this kind of things happens. So what I will do, I'll quickly go and I'll do a lot of things. Okay, I will first of all, I'll go into my database. I'll pull 5 years worth of data because that's what I think my manager wanted to do. And on top of that, I'll pull a lot of other informations like, the call center agents, the customer information, right? And like I said, I'll clean that data and everything, and I'll keep it into some table in the backend. And then I'll go and I'll use a Power BI, and basically then I'll try to create some visualizations on top of it, right? For example, which of the products is there which Verizon has sold in last 5 years, right? And which of the products which we have sold in last 5 years, and which were our top products, which are their top products, right? And what was our call handling time, right? For example, what are the offerings which, for example, Verizon is giving versus we are giving. So guys, just listen what I'm saying. It's very, very important. So I have created all this dashboard. Now what I need to do, right? Now my next task is that I need to come up with some kind of a recommendation, right? This is where the storytelling actually comes into the picture. Now, what is recommendation? Recommendation in case, for example, I'll now go back to my business. I'll prepare, for example, a PPT or something like that. As your Power BI reports can be converted into PPTs also. And there are a lot of now AI-based interaction which has come in Power BI, using which, whatever visual graphs which you have created, that can be converted into the textual information, which will tell that what you are basically trying to present, right? So I will basically say that, hey, you know what? The major problem what I have seen that all our call center agents, whenever they are picking the call, their average handling time is too big, right? So Verizon is for any query, their average handling time is just 3 minutes, whereas our average handling time is 4.5 minutes. So of course, as an end user, right, whenever you call into any call center, right, it's not only about telecom. Talk about any industry. If your average handling time is big, don't you as a customer will get frustrated? Of course, right? So if you get frustrated, you will try to leave that. On top of that, then I have come up with some other kind of analysis where I will say that, you know, um, for example, we are giving the mobile services in AT&T, which is costing the end user, for example, $20. However, what Verizon is doing, Verizon is also giving the mobile services in $20. However, they are selling it as a bundle. So my manager will ask, what is bundle? So I will say, what they are doing. So with the mobile connection, they are giving, let's say 2 GB of free internet or Wi-Fi, uh, you know, to them as well in that same $20. Okay. And that is the reason people are more inclined towards them, and people are slowly leaving us. So then my manager will ask, okay, so what should we do then? So then I will go and I will tell them that, okay, see, our first problem is our average handling time. So we should be quickly focusing on training our people so that they can understand the things easily and they can respond back. Okay. On top of that, we can also come up with some kind of bundle services, some attractive services where we can lower down some of our costs, like from 20 to 18 or 17. And instead of two, we can offer them some, three kind of services. Okay. Let internet, mobile, and on top of that, let's say a Xbox. Okay. If they are going to subscribe us for 2 years, for example, right? So these are some of the things which I will basically present using my Power BI dashboard. So you see, it's not only creating the dashboard, what I'm focusing. Try to understand this. It's not only that I have went ahead, I have pulled the data and I have created dashboard. No, no, boss. This is not going to work in industry now. You have to create the dashboard. You have to analyze that data. You have to come up with a story, and then you have to come up with a recommendation as well. That what is the recommendation you are going to provide us? Is that clear to everyone? How
Yes.
competitive the market has become?
Hmm.
So it's not very easy right now. Okay. So that is the kind of mindset you should be having. See, I'm very good because I have a lot of like 13 years of hands-on experience working with databases. So I know how to analyze those data and all, right? Uh, so with that mindset, if I comes within the Power BI, so it becomes a little easier for me. Okay. Because if you know how to sort out the things in the back end, I think it will take some time. You can do it in front end as well. But if you are only working on front end, then it needs an analytical mind. Okay. So I would always say that go ahead and practice some analytical questions. Okay. Unfortunately, I can't help you practicing SQL or Python questions here because we are conducting Power BI session. But I'll still recommend go ahead and practice some of your basic SQL and basic Python questions, and slowly and gradually do some advanced analytics there as well. Okay. Okay. Now, so very quickly, some of the components of Power BI, guys. As we all know, we have Power BI desktop. So I'll just show you how the Power BI desktop looks like. I think some of you already know, but still I'll just show. And then we have Power BI service. Power BI service is majorly used for publishing reports or sharing dashboards and everything. And then we have now Power BI mobile app as well. We have Power BI embedded reports as well, where you can, enables, which basically enables you to embed your reports or dashboard into any applications, okay? Whatever application you design. But here, majorly we will be focusing on Power BI desktop and services. App and embed is not in our purview right now. Okay. Now, see, this is a dashboard as you see how, these are very interactive dashboard you see, right? These are the maps, right? Bar charts, pie charts and everything, donut charts, right? So these are very really interesting one. So we'll all do this, it's all the same thing. Okay, so with this, let me do very quickly one thing, so I mean, anyway, I can share this later on with you. See, this is an example of bar charts versus line chart, pie charts, and scatter plots and all. So we'll practice all these things. For now, let me quickly open Power BI. I just wanted to show you something. Okay, meanwhile it is opening. I'm just pausing for a quick second. Any questions, guys, quickly?
So, sir, did mention about Python. So, we need Python for data manipulation, if I'm not wrong, correct?
Yeah, I mean,
Or
you
either
can use Python
cleaning, data cleaning.
or
We can do data cleaning in Power BI too,
yeah,
but Python makes it a little more easier, I believe, if I'm not wrong.
yeah. I mean, see, you can do everything in Power BI. Okay. Example, today we will be using Power BI editor, and you will see
Mm-hmm.
that we can do all those things. The only problem is with with Power BI, and if you are going to use all this thing here, is that it becomes really slow, really very slow. Okay,
Yeah,
and
that's true.
especially when you are working with non-relational data, it becomes very difficult. So either you can use Python, or you can also at least see. I would say even before going to Python, you should have a very good skills on SQL.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that is one, you can say, one of the very basic building block if you are trying to aim your career into data analytics. Okay,
Right.
and I mean, any interview I have seen, like I have given you example, right? Even if I talk about my own self, see, I have appeared, I mean, I do have worked in the past for some of the very prestigious organizations. You can go ahead and see my LinkedIn as well. On top of that, when I have appeared for interviews, for example, for Amazon or Microsoft, right? I mean, you will surprised to see some of the questions of data which has come. They have just simply asked me, you have two options, or any language, you use it and try to solve this problem. Okay. So they wanted to see whether you have that analytical mindset or not. How can you interpret the data, right? And how you can basically solve any problem using that. So that's why I say, for and the position was a reporting position. I mean, you'll be surprised. I mean, when I cleared the first round, definitely in the second round they came and they asked me a lot of questions around the, the reporting side. But this is how, they also consider that having a data mindset is very very important. Okay, anyway, so let me just one second. Okay, guys, so see, we are going to quickly do couple of things here right now. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is that, see, I'll show you a folder which I have here. So I'm going to import some data very quickly for you guys, and I wanted to show you some of the capabilities within Power BI. So here it is. Okay, so guys, I have two sets of data here. If you see, I have a customer data and I have a invoice data. Okay, very similar to what I was talking about in my examples. So if you see the customer data, it would be very simple here, I think. Uh, See, I have some customer IDs, guys. I have some customer groups, names, their category name, their primary contact, phone number, website, delivery method, and city, province, and everything, right? See, I mean, I can use this file later on as well, but for now, I just wanted to show you, how you can import the data, and you can do some quick, you can say, data transformations within Power BI. Okay. So, and sorry, I forgot to tell you about one thing. Like when I say data transformation, what do I mean by data transformation, guys? Okay. So see, data transformation is nothing but like, converting your data into a meaningful form. So for example, let's say I'm just giving you an example. Um, let's say this is a customer ID, right? Now customer ID, as you see here, these are all numbers, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 25, 26. For some reason, for example, when you import this data into Power BI or any other tool like SSIS or Azure, when you import this data, and let's say what you observe that the data type of this customer ID has changed to a string or it has become text. So that is where you will apply your transformation techniques to convert the data type into an integer or a number, right? Because I want the customer ID to be a number for a lot of reasons. Now I don't want to go into again into data, but just just to explain you. So the process of doing or converting the data type is called a transformation. Likewise, you can do a lot of things. For example, you have first name, last name, middle name coming separately, right, into your, for example, into your file. And somebody asked you that in your reporting, you need all first name, last name, and middle name as one name, which is full name, right? So you see here, I mean, in your source, you have got data into three different formats, or three different columns, but then you will apply some transformation, and using the transformation, you will be able to basically create one single column, right? So that is also an example of a transformation. Okay. So this is one of the data set, and then I have another data set which is invoice data. Now this is a heavy data which is in Notepad, as you see. I think this is where we have millions of record. Okay, so this may take some time, but majorly this invoice data is nothing. This is the data related to the customer only. Okay, so if I just open this file, now you see this file. If you see this file is not as organized as the Excel was. Can you see here? On the top, you have the columns: invoice line ID, customer code, transaction ID, description. Can you see here? But all
Yes.
the columns are separated by your commas, right?
It's a
It's
CSV
not in
file.
columnar, yeah. So it's a CSV file, and it's comma separated file, and it's basically, I would not say it's a relational right now, okay? So now you will again ask me what is relational data. I'm not sure if this question has come, but simply I would say any data which is in the form of row and a column is called relational data. Okay. So right now it is not relational, and that is why it becomes very difficult for me to read this data properly. Okay. I don't know what is this data is all about. So anyway, let me just close it. Let me go to my Power BI and let me try to import and visualize this data to see, how I can basically import this data. Okay, just give me 1 second. So let's say text or CSV. I'll connect and I will open this data. Okay. So now you see Power BI is taking some time to read and analyze this data. So you see here, I have got the data now. Now you see how clean this data is right now, right? I have got everything in rows and column. Can you see here? Right? Initially it was comma separated. Okay. So uh, I have got a cleaner data. However, still I feel that there are few things which I need to improve or I need to transform my data. Okay. So to do that, what I will do, see, there are two options here, right? Load and transform data. See, I can directly load this data into my Power BI model, but I will not do that. Before loading this data, I will do some transformation. Okay. And this is where, guys, in the real world, okay, when you go and work in the real world, you have lot of ETL tools. You might have heard about this term, right? ETL. What is ETL? ETL is nothing but your extraction, transformation, and logic. So there are ETL tools like SSIS, Azure Data Factory, right? AWS Glue. What this tool does? This tool does the exact thing right now, which we are going to do within the Power BI. We are doing it in Power BI because again, that's not a huge data, but since it's a capability within the Power BI, Power BI has integrated that, and that is what I wanted to show you. So let's go ahead and transform the data. Okay. So we are going to do couple of things very quickly, and I hope this will, make you a little bit your interest will come here, of course, to work with Power BI. Okay, so guys, you see here, I have invoice line data, I have customer code description here. You guys, you see this 123. What this 123 represent? 123 represent the data type. Okay, data type means it's a number. Okay, invoice line ID is a number, customer code is a number, transaction ID is a number, description is a text, and that is why you see ABC, right? And then you see here, I have year, month, and day. So these are my dates, but this is again in the numbers. Okay. Then I have package type IDs, uh, quantities again in numbers, sales again in number. Okay, and some other items. So there are two things, guys, which I basically want to do very quickly. One is, you see sales here. Now sales here is showing that it is in the number format. But generally, whenever you see any sales number, these are not numbers, but these are into, this should be a decimal, right? Followed by dots and 00, right? Tomorrow, let's say there could be a sale of, $567.37, right? So if it is a numeric field, how will you show, or how will you show this information in this field? You will not be able to, right? So it will try to convert it into the nearest form, right? So that is the reason I wanted to convert this sales number into a decimal number. So there are a couple of ways, guys. You can select this column and just hover on this column and right click, right? And you will get an option to change the type. So I can change the type and I can make it as a fixed decimal number. Okay. Or there is another way where I can just click on this 123 here and I will convert it into fixed decimal number, right? Replace current. And you see now this number actually becomes a dollar symbol here, right? And the values become as a decimal here. Okay, on your right hand side, you see here there is this pane which is called applied steps. Okay, what is this applied steps will tell? See, applied steps will basically track each and everything which I am doing. So you see the very first thing, it is showing change type. What is mean by change type? Change type means I have changed the type of the data type of this column, right? That is what it is showing. Okay. Now, the other thing which I wanted to do quickly, guys, is see, I have this year, month, and day, right? So now this year, month, and day, I basically wanted to convert this into a date format. One thing is that, and on top of that, I want to merge this. Right now, my year is different, my month is different, my day is different. Okay. So I want to make it one column. And like in US, you see the normal form of date reporting is, first it will be month, followed by date, and then year. Correct me if I'm wrong. Okay. That's how, right? First month, then day, and then year. So that's how the US date reporting happens. So to do that, what I'm going to do, see, I'm going to press Control, select month, then day, and then year, and then right click, and there must be some option of merging columns. You see, so merge columns. Okay, separator. Now, what is separator, guys? Separator means how do you want to separate the date, right? So I will just select custom and then hyphen. Okay, and then I will make the new column name as date. Okay, and then I click OK. Okay, So right now, if you see, I think there is some mess up which has happened in the date. There is a reason I know why it has happened. The reason why it has happened is because I have some blank characters or null values in this data set. This data set is not very clean. So that is the reason I am just going to unselect this merge column. I'm going to again select my month, day, and year. And then I'm going to merge this. This time, let me see. Hyphen. Click OK. Okay. So now you see, now my date has become a little bit cleaner here, right? You see, 1/1/2018. Oh no, again, it is not clear. Okay. Let me do one thing. Let me just uh, close it and try once more by clicking or unselecting that. Day and year. Date. Okay, so now you see it is much clear now, okay? Because I have selected the other range and now you see my date has come as 1/1/2018, 1/1/2018 and so on, okay? If you come here, then it will be 2/1/2/1/2/18. So at least now it is fine. It's looking good. Okay. Now there is one more challenge, guys. Okay. Uh, guys, just give me 1 second. There is somebody at my door. I think my maid is here. Just give me one quick second. Hello, guys, are there?
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay, okay, yeah. Sorry for that. Okay, so now very quickly, guys, I also want to do one more thing. Okay, what is that? You see right now the date format is ABC here, right? This is a text format. Okay, so I'm going to change the data type of this. So I'll change the type and I'll make it as date. Okay, so now see the date has actually become the date. Okay, so this is what I wanted to do. And now, if you remember, I had one of the other source as well, right? So that source was the Excel source. So let me go ahead and import this source as well. Because, so this is, I mean, this is the invoice data, which we have just seen, right? But I want to import my Excel data as well, which had your customer records, right? For example, this customer ID, customer group, name and primary contact and everything, okay? And delivery method. So let me click OK. Okay, so you see my customer record has also came into the picture. Okay, and again, I have a lot of records here like customer IDs, right? Customer group, customer name, customer category name, fax number, website URL. So there are a lot of things here. So one of the thing for example, I don't want all this column because there are a lot of things which is unrelevant. So I'll go here, I'll choose the column, right? And I'm going to remove, for example, like let's say fax number. I don't need website or URL, delivery method, and this primary and these are the columns I don't need. These were the data I didn't need it, so I just removed it. So that's a way, guys, you can see that, how you can remove the data. Okay. Now another thing, guys, what I also wanted to do within this Power BI query editor is that, as you see this city and province, right? Right now, this both city and province is into one single column, right? However, I would like to basically separate this column, okay, city and province, into two different columns. So I want to split the columns, okay. So I'll select city and province. I'll go here and I'll click on split column by delimiter. Now, see, one thing is, you see here. So the first text here, you see Lisco. There is a space then, and then there is a bracket which is opening. Okay. So guys, the first syntax here is always the city name followed by a space, and then within the brackets it is province. Okay. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to separate this column. How I'm going to separate this column? I'm going to separate this column wherever I see there is this bracket and followed by a space. So I'll give a space here and I'll click on OK. So you see here, now there are two columns and you see it is separated very well. Okay, so first of all, I'll go ahead and change the name of this column. I'll make it as city. Okay, and then I'll make the second column as province. Province. Okay, and enter. However, guys, there is one more problem which you still see in your province is that you still have a closing bracket which has not been removed, right? So how can you remove that? Again, let me right click here, right? And let me try to find out an option like rename. You see rename, right? Or replace value. I think replace value would be the good one. Okay. So I'll click on replace value. And what I'm going to replace, I'm going to replace this bracket with an empty space and click on OK. You see, so that another bracket has also gone. Okay. So what we have learned today very quickly in the Power BI, right? I mean, we have understood theoretically why Power BI is important, how it is going to help you in the future, right? All these theoretical things. But again, guys, that's not only a theoretical thing, that's very, very important to set the background. And then we have learned, how we can import the data both from a flat files or a text file. And we'll load the data from databases also in our next classes. Uh, and then we have seen some of the aspect of Power BI query editor, some of the manual aspect which is provided by Power BI. And then we have seen that how we can do some quick transformations within the Power BI. So this is what I wanted to show you today, guys. Our next session will be, and I'll talk on that very quickly. In the next session, we will be focusing more on the data modeling part, little bit more on the Power BI query editor side. For example, if you want to write a query. So guys, you see, for example, I'll just give you a quick example. You see, I have replaced a value, right? You see here, what I have done in province, I have replaced the that bracket, you remember, right? So when I have removed that bracket, the Power BI query editor also write a query here. Can you see here? It has written a function, right? Table.replace value, renamed column, right? And you see replace text province, right? So, so this is how whenever you write any or do anything here on the editor, there is a query which get written here. Okay. Now see, there are a lot of complex things which we can do in Power BI query editor, but for everything, I don't feel that there is an option here on the tabs. Okay. So those things we have to do by writing the Power BI queries. Okay. The Power BI queries in the editor. Okay. So we will also read about, a couple of those things in our upcoming sessions. Okay. So that's what is the agenda. So with this, let me just close this Power BI for now. Just give me one quick second. Okay. Okay, guys, any questions you have?
Yes, sir, I have a question. So there might be some missing values as well in the raw data set. So when do we do that, like handling the missing values? When do we actually do that step? During transformation or after all the transformations are done?
See, ideally, if you have to, uh, I mean, you are saying that you have to handle the missing values, right? Or
Yes,
how
I
do you
mean,
hand?
like there may be or there may not be any missing values depending on what kind of data we
Uh,
receive.
right,
Um,
right.
but we that is also a part of data cleaning, right?
Yes, you should be doing it at the transformation step. Okay. See, ideally, if you have a backend, okay, if there is a possibility, you should always do it before even loading into Power BI. That is always the number one recommendation. But let's say in this case, because we are focusing on Power BI, we are not touching anything and we are using Power BI for transformation as well. Hence, any cleaning stuff you need to do, or you need to load your data into the model, the clean data, and before that you have to do the transformation, and within the transformation step all this missing value, null values, duplicate values, for example, right, extra spaces, left hand side, right hand side, you should be doing all those kind of profiling work in your transformation stage.
Yes.
uh okay. So I mean, that's how you should be doing it. But I mean, it also sometimes depend upon, Sally, what is the data set you are working with, like I said. Okay. See, if you don't have any scope and you want to do everything in Power BI and still your data is very huge, right? I think you should be doing that in transformation stage, because once you load the data in, so for example, if I would not do anything here and I simply load the data, you remember there was an option of loading, right?
Yes.
If I click on load directly, the data will go and sit into my Power BI model. Okay. What is Power BI model? We'll talk about that in the later classes. Okay. Power BI model is nothing but it is a kind of a database in the behind which will hold your data into the tabular format. Okay. So once data goes it there, it's already in the next step. And if you have huge data, huge, when I say huge, I mean I'm talking about millions and billions. Okay. When you have huge data, then it will become a problem there in the modeling, because your modeling will get corrupted, a lot of other issues will come. So try to do all these pre-cleaning things as soon as you can do it before even loading the data into your main Power BI models. Okay.
Okay. So
Hmm.
the should it be done probably if they have like a SQL server or any other source? Should it be done in SQL or Python, or is it required to be done in Power BI?
See, in the real world, people generally have ETL tools to do that. Okay. Like I was explaining you SSIS and all other things. So what they do, they pull the data from SQL Server or any database, for example, Oracle, right, or MongoDB. They pull the data, they do all the transformation and cleaning using the ETL tool, and then they again load the data into the database itself, but into the reporting databases. Now in SQL Server also, you have different databases, right? So the clean database, the reporting database, the incremental database. So they put the cleaner data into the reporting database, and on top of the reporting database, your Power BI will be connected, and it will pull anyway the clean data.
Oh, okay.
So that's how in the real world it happens. Okay, in the real world industry.
Okay, so it's like maybe most of the times we might get a clean data, or if not, then we'll have to do it in
Yeah, like I'm saying, if you are working end to end, right? For example, if you went into a company and you are into a reporting team, okay? So you will be having a database team as well, right? So the work of the database team will be the same, which I just explained, right? Cleaning your data, loading your data, doing the ETL, and they will provide you an environment which will be a clean environment. So you will go and you will import the data from there. So you don't have to do a lot of thing there. I mean, again, it depends upon business. If they still want to do some basic steps in cleaning, you can still do that. But normally, this is how it happens. Right now, like I said, most of the job, it's a full stack job where you will not be only hired as a Power BI developer, okay? You will be doing end-to-end things. You will be handling databases as well. You will be an ETL person as well, and you will be doing reporting as well. Okay.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Okay. So thank you guys. I just